Hi everybody, it's Adam. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to go over the ES market that happened today with the news, where everybody got clapped from the news, and why it's important not to trade before the news, and sometimes even during the news if you don't want to get clapped as well. Not financial advice, but let's get into it here. Alright, going over here to the ES market, what do we have? We have the SIBI that's up within here that we've been mentioning for a few weeks now, and price did trade up into there, took that area. If it wanted to go bullish, which I kind of did want myself, but the market can tell you differently if it wants to do something else, which it did. You know, so it went bullish up within here, and then we're gonna target up into this high, and maybe even 50% of this daily wick if it did want to get up into there. We also have the rejection block within that area too. Price ended up coming up and just taking that high and rejecting it right from there, and you can see this happen on all the other indices as well. They all reached up high within this area. Let's go to the daily time frame. You notice that we came up above this high here, and then we started to trade down. This came up in the high, and then this came up here into the gap as well on YM. But anyways, going over here, what do we see in the 4 hour? It traded up in, and then it traded back down, and we have these lows within here. We have these lows, we have these lows, and then we have these lows, and that's what it's targeting, and we're coming down to this NWOG. So if you want to get something out of this going forward, like what do I expect to happen next? Possibly trade in this NWOG and see where we can go from here if it does want to hold as support to rip back up, or if we come back up in here, and then these order blocks up within here start holding for bearish movement continuation down to come take out all these stops. But anyways, we'll get into like price predictions later. I'm just gonna go over the review from today. So notice how prices consolidates like at night and in the morning and during the day. There's not really much going on, and I personally did not trade anything on my live account within the morning session. I'm waiting, other than the buys that I had on Bitcoin from yesterday and last night and last week. Those are the only positions I had open on my live account. It's none of these that were on here. So price did go sideways, and then we had our news come out, and then basically I took partials on the Bitcoin, and then the rest at break even, and then I took some shorts on it as well. We'll get more into that in a little bit, but anyways, price did trade down here pre-news. So as we're looking at this area, what do we see? Price trades down pre-news, takes out this low, and this was basically like a green light to me. It's like, oh, we're gonna hit the low. The news will likely take out the high. The news comes out at 2 o'clock, comes up, takes the high, and then takes that other high up in here. And now it's like, okay, what does price want to do? So it starts to accumulate, go sideways here, and then we had him start speaking. So Powell started speaking at 2:30. So price trades down, trades back up above this high, and there were some little scalp entries within here, which I did take myself. So I had some scalp entries within this area, and then we target up within here, and then take partials within those, and then they came back down and hit break even. Am I okay with the break even? Yes, I'm completely fine with the break even. Why? Why am I okay with the break even? I'm okay with it because I'm expecting crazy movement. So my expectations are a lot lower on a day like today with this news. So now price trades back down. It's like, I'm going to sit on the sidelines. Okay, what's going to happen in the market? You know what I mean? I'm sitting on the sidelines. I'm not forcing anything. You know what I mean? I'm going to be patient and disciplined. We come back down. We come down below these lows. And now we're down below these lows. What do I see now is the question. We are bouncing off this area here. YM was hitting another low as well. And now we're starting to get rejection on the NWOGs, which are these blue boxes, the NWOG, new week opening gaps. So these NWOGs are going to act as support and resistance within key areas. And so what do we have here now? We have a gap that's sitting up within this area, and we have a high that's up here. And if it does want to continue bullish, and we have 15-minute closures that want to keep going bullish, we could take it up into here and up into here, which I wanted to see myself, but obviously you can tell it didn't. It didn't do that. So we go down here to the 5-minute. And what can we see from this area? We are targeting short-term up within here, within this gap. So I took buys here on the 1-minute time frame when price started rejecting this area. So we shifted down a 1, a 2, and then we had a break right up in here. And I'm looking at this NWOG and also here. So we go down to the 30-second, right over here. And what do you see? Institutional order flow entry drill on the NWOG on top of a volume imbalance here, on top of these breakers that are up within here. This is the real breaker right here, but it never really reached down into there. But this is the short-term market structure shift, and we are targeting up in this area. So I do not want to see price come back down below this area down within here. So this was like a quick little scalp trade within here. Boom, boom, boom. Take 80% of your position off, and then you wait to see what happens next. Price then accumulated in this area. We're looking at the 5-minute time frame. You can see what happens here. So those are my trades on my live that made me my 0.5% today. Cool with that. Don't need to take anything else. Between that and then Bitcoin made me the 0.5%. But anyways, don't need to take anything else. Now it's just time to observe and watch price and really see what can happen. So we have this 5-minute gap that's sitting up within here. We come up in this 5-minute gap and it's like, okay, does it want to go higher? Does it want to come lower? It's obviously going lower. This 5-minute candle closure is like, okay, green light. We are ready to go back down because comes higher, market structure shift, and we did not respect the consequent encroachment of this wick, which is 50% of the wick. So we came back down through it, came back up, and then we started trading down. So this is just what we're looking at now. We go to the 2-minute time frame. Notice this. Trades down, comes back up, shifts down again. And that shift down, that market structure shift in that 5-minute gap, and you could be expecting lower prices as well. You can even go down to the 1 minute, and you can see this fair value gap that's sitting within here. I personally did not take it, but this is something that was in a key area where price did shift structure after hitting a key point with targets lower, and you can even measure from here, from this high to this low right here, using the -1, give you a fib extension down to this area. We didn't quite hit it, but it's likely to hit it probably at some point, either this Asia session or into London, possibly even hit down into there in the NWAG, but we'll see. Anyways, trades back up in here. Boom. That's a possibility of an entry. Like I say, paper money. If you take any advice, it's paper money, okay? Trades back down below, another market structure shift, comes back up, and it's testing this side of the NWAG now. Test, test, test. Look at the body closures. And also look at this reclaimed fair value gap. Go over here to the 2-minute time frame. Notice this fair value gap that's still sitting here as well. This fair value gap, reclaimed. Look at that, just respecting that fair value gap. And also you can look at this fair value gap here. After bearish closures, after 5-minute bearish closures, this is another possibility. But on days like this, expect less, you know what I mean? But then price just rips all the way down, you know? So there we go. That was basically it today. So if you want any key takeaways out of this from today, 1, expect less out of FOMC and big news days. 2, the morning session before FOMC is very iffy, and it can go sideways and not really respect price. So like when I first started trading and I was like, okay, what's going on? It's like these were the days that stressed me out because I didn't know when to not trade. And FOMC days is a day to not trade. And if I do place a trade and it is after the news, typically it might be like 30 minutes after the news, might be an hour after the news. It might be the last macro time frame session from the 3:15 to 3:45 Eastern time. So that might be the time it really does start to kick in. So it might be until then before I even take a trade. I might not even take one at all. But learning the time frames of when to trade, when not to trade is really what helped me with this. So if you want to take anything out of this video, there you go. That's it. All right, let's get into the projections here. Like what can we see happen? You know what I mean? So we have this bearish order block now. So price shifted down. We have now this daily candle as a bearish order block. We'll see if this wants to come up and start retesting this order block, if it wants to come lower. Because obviously I wanted price to go higher. But it doesn't matter what I care about or what I want. You know what I mean? It depends what the market wants to do. We have this 2-day volume imbalance that's sitting within here. If we do trade down into there, I'm going to see if that wants to hold as a potential support and then keep ripping higher. And that's if all these other macroeconomic projections play out smoothly. Let's just say they do. And nothing really breaks in the system. So I'm sure we could possibly see some rejection within this area to come up into there. So I'm going to be watching this area here. I'm going to be watching this area here. Right now, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I have no bullish or bearish bias right now. Tomorrow will be a different story. There'll be new information from overnight. I'm sure there's going to be a trade to take, but on the long-term scale of things, I don't really know what's going on. We just took the external liquidity from here and shifted down with the news. So maybe we do trade down in here and accumulate within this area and we start to get some buys up within there, or if we start buying up here and then we get some rejection within here and come back down. It really depends how these candles start to close. So what am I going to be watching? Where are my key areas to watch right now? It's going to be this area here with this order block and also these wicks. Even 50% of this 4-hour wick is something I want to keep my eyes on. We're going to go over here to the daily time frame. We're going to measure 50% of this daily wick as well. So basically this entire range right here is I'm going to keep my eyes on, as well as that 2-day volume imbalance that's within here. So these are all going to be on my screen every morning, and it's just going to be used as like points of interest. How do we react here? And if we do come higher, we're going to see how this gap reacts as a potential support or resistance level if it does use that area. And if we do come up in here, we're going to see how these order blocks start to react up within this area, up within here. Maybe we do come up in here and start to fall down from there. Overall, It's just a game where we have to trust ourselves and follow these patterns based on statistical performance over time. You know what I mean? But going over here to Bitcoin, like what can we expect here with Bitcoin now? We got the SIBI that's still up within here. This is still a possible reach for me. So if everything does go bullish, like I was just explaining over there on the S&P, and things do start looking good, we can look at these areas here on Bitcoin and also Ethereum. Ethereum, I think if Bitcoin does want to work its way lower into this breaker again, the high of this area, if it does want to work its way back down in there before accumulating and going long again, which is looking like it wanted to. I personally had buys down here. If they come down, break even, you know what I mean? But I also had more buys within here that I took partials up within here, and the rest came and hit break even. And then there's some short trades that actually presented today as well. But this is my area on the higher time frame, is within here. If we do reach our way down within this area, I'm going to look for more accumulations long, and maybe Ethereum will work its way down within this gap that's down within here before continuing long again. And what would change my bias? Like I said yesterday, what would change my bias? If price does start to accumulate and keep breaking lower and creating bearish movement down, this would cause me to want to keep going bearish. But until that really starts to fold over and give a nice accumulation of, like, let's say it starts folding over, I'm not going bearish until then. And I want to just see these pullbacks come down and hold and see if they really want to start ripping up within an area like that. So that's what I'm going to keep my eye on, and it's going to play out over the series of a few days to a few weeks, maybe even a few months, if we even do get to see price up there. If not, we'll be targeting back down below this low and even down below these lows down here. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave a comment or just send me a message on Twitter, @me on Twitter, if you want to join the Discord or anything. Love you guys. Take it easy.